And I think they got a really good chance to beat the Miami Heat. I think that, in my view, if the Indiana Pacers were a much stronger opponent than the Miami Heat will be to the.
Well, I think the Raptors struggled against Indiana, but I think Miami's a better team than Indiana, so the Raptors are going to have to play a lot better in this series than they played in the previous series. I think Toronto.
I think the Raptors are just as good as any NBA team right now that's in the playoffs. The problem with the Raptors is that when they start getting nervous or panicky, they start hanging on to the ball. And when you hang on to the ball, you're looking for trouble. And that's what happened when they were up 16 points, which is a fucking landslide. 16 points is a huge mountain to climb to come back. And they came back.
Well, I think Toronto's game plan when they were up 60 in the fourth quarter was atrocious. All year long, the Raptors stayed aggressive when they had leads, and that's why they won 54 games. The playoffs, here you are in Game 7, you're up 60, and all of a sudden the Raptors on offense, they didn't want to play offense. All they wanted to do was get the shot clock down to 2 and then just turn the ball over. They were just trying to kill clock. It was almost like playing prevent defense, and you were completely out of sync offensively. In fact, the Raptors had the worst ever Game 7 for a team that ended up winning that game in the history of the NBA. Their offense was atrocious. They turned the ball over. They were jittery. They were nervous.
I love the game.
I understand how you could possibly play that.
I love that game. But when that last quarter came, I poured myself a scotch with no ice, and I was hyperventilating.
Yeah, well, and rightfully so, because that's how they played in the fourth quarter.
The whole game, they played great.
Yeah, the fourth quarter,
the ultimate choke. That would have been the ultimate choke, Eric.
And you have to wonder why. I mean, I understand the Raptors have never won a 7-game series. Dwayne Casey's been around long enough. Kyle Lowry, DeRozan, these guys have been around playoff before. You can't get so nervous. I couldn't understand. It's like they just forgot how to play the game for that one quarter, and it was the most important quarter in their franchise history.
Well, they had an option, as I see it. They could have continued to play the way they had for the first 3 quarters and take chances, but they were told to lay back.
Yeah.
And that's a coaching decision.
I think you're right. I think they were told to lay back, but I don't think their coach, who's got an extensive amount of experience and he's been to the dance, he would not tell them to hang on to the ball like they were hanging the ball. If they tell you not to be that aggressive, they tell you to throw the ball around and let your opponent chase it. I'm not I played a lot of basketball when I was a kid. I love the game, but I'm not a basketball expert, but it's only common fucking sense. Let them chase the ball. But if you got a guy covering you and he's a giant, just like you, and he's a professional, and he's in the best league in the world. He's going to find a way to take that ball off you. The longer you hold it, the more liability you become to yourself and the team.
Yeah, that's why for Toronto, what they should have done is just continue to play the way they were playing, move the ball around, get good shots, drive the basket, get the ball to Valanciunas inside. Don't wait till the shot clock's at 1 and heave up a prayer. It was just an atrocious game plan. And, you mentioned Dwayne Casey. He won, he was an assistant coach with Dallas when they won an NBA championship and they beat LeBron James and the Miami Heat. So he understands what it takes to win in the playoffs. I just couldn't understand the game plan that Toronto was executing or trying to.
I think
they weren't executing
nervous.
it.
It almost reminded me of the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Sitting back on that 4-1 leading.
Sitting back. And the other team starts getting momentum, and the other team starts getting hungry, and they start cornering you, and you get back on your heels, and that's when you make mistakes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Anyways, I'm very happy for the Toronto fans of the Raptors, and there's many. And I know you're a big Raptor fan, Eric.
Yes, I am.
And I'm a big Raptor fan too, and I think that the Raptors should thank the Jewish community in Toronto because most of those good seats are owned by them, and they're the ones that stuck by all my Jewish friends stuck by the Raptors in those lean years.
Well,
where you had to buy somebody
they got leaf
the
tickets
Raptors.
for it.
That's right. Back in the day, you couldn't buy Leaf tickets unless you bought Raptor tickets.
No,
they
were
force you to buy
that
them.
was blackmailed. Everybody was blackmailed. If you wanted the Leaf season tickets, you have to.
That's right.
Take the Raptors package.
That's right.
That's right.
So if you don't say that was extortion, then.
Well, the one thing you can say about MLSC, Billy, is they know how to make money, huh?
Yeah, but in the early days, you had to buy somebody dinner to give them Raptor tickets.
Yeah.
Unload them. And it's great that they stuck by them, and I'm really happy for the Raptors fan base. I have a lot of friends in Vancouver who are big Raptors fans. I got a lot of friends from Buffalo, New York that are Raptors fans.
I think we have to keep it in perspective, Frank. I mean, this is you said you thought Indiana was a better team than Miami. Well, if that's
I do. I still do. I didn't think. I truly believe, and I know that Indiana was the 7th seed.
Yeah.
And I really still believe that the Indiana Pacers are a stronger team than the Miami Heat. But
if that's how you,
it doesn't matter. You're going to see the way the Raptors. You see, for me, the scary part of going to the next round is the way they reacted to pressure in Game 7 in the fourth quarter, and they almost fucking blew it. So another guy on the other side of the table would say to me, fuck you. It doesn't matter. They almost blew it. They got it. They won. It's over.
Yeah, but the problem is if the Raptors are in that situation again against Miami, they can't play that way.
Miami will lead them alive. Miami will not do, because the Pacers got close and then they kind of choked.
Yeah, George, you're right. George had some
they choked.
turnovers
They became very nasty and brutal, and they took some stupid fouls, and that's what cost them that comeback. It was an incredible comeback. The stupidity is what cost them to actually put the exclamation mark on that comeback.
But the Raptors have an opportunity here. I mean, they've never been out of the second round. They're a favorite in the second round. Against Miami, they have home court advantage, so this is really their chance. They're to get to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time in franchise history, and you really hope the Raptors can play a lot better. I mean, because let's face it, DeRozan and Lowry did not play well for the majority of that series against Indiana. They're going to have to be a lot better because that Dwayne Wade has been there. He's won championships. Whiteside, Dang, Joe Johnson. These guys have been around the block. These are veteran guys that are going to play well. The Raptors have to match the intensity. And Eric Spoelstra has won multiple championships. So again, Dwayne Casey's going to have to be at the top of his game.